good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for hopping on early. We're just giving everyone a few more minutes to settle in before we officially start. In the meantime, we'll be playing a short clip introducing Cambridge Education Group and their on-campus pathway centers. So sit back and we'll be starting in a few minutes.
So you make content, but do you want to take it to the next level?
Our programme is designed for creators like you to brainstorm, develop and create content for social platforms. Throughout the year we'll be sending out a range of challenges,
Giving our creators the freedom to tackle them using current digital trends. We had students like Leanne join in on the Wes Anderson trend.
How about Aya, who showcased our creative transitions?
Oh yeah, and you get to win prizes too.
You won't be alone though. You'll be able to meet other people in the programme to collaborate with.
And with access to social events, you'll get the chance to expand your network. You'll also get access to our creative team for support.
As you learn and improve your skills to create stunning content.
And on top of all of this, you'll be building skills to boost your CV. So what are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
I love everything about Amsterdam. My name is Felipe Cotrim Santos and I was born in Brazil. I'm in the progression degree for EBE, Economics and Business Economics. São Paulo, the place where I was born in Brazil, it's a huge city. So I don't really have the opportunity to walk around and go anywhere that I want just by walking or on the subway or trains. I need to get a car. So here being able to walk freely is incredible. I try to bike every day, but I'm too lazy sometimes. Having the opportunity to strengthen some abilities that I'm not really good at, quite as math, is really nice. The teachers are really great. Alec, the business teacher, he's really funny. I love to have his classes. He's the best. Math as well. Math is really complicated, so it's quite challenging. And Dutch is a really nice class as well. And Econ, it's great. In the future, I see myself working with trade between nations, and I think it's really important to be in like an international environment and to study economics. Danke wel.
Good afternoon again, everyone. I hope that video gave you a very nice look at what Cambridge Education Group is all about. On behalf of Yes Education, welcome to today's session. We're going deep into Cambridge Education Group's on-campus pathway programs, and to give you an overview, Cambridge Education Group has been shaping international education for over 70 years, and their on campus division is one of the most established pathway providers in the UK and the Europe, partnering with leading universities to help international students transition smoothly into degree level study right from day one. And to walk us through all of this, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, Ms. Ruby Long, Deputy Director for East Asia and Regional Lead for On-Campus Southampton and Loughborough at Cambridge Education Group. Ruby, welcome. We're so glad to have you with us today. How are you doing?
Hello, Yanni. Thank you so much for having me today. It's great. Hello, greetings from very rainy Hong Kong today. So I hope the weather in the Philippines is fine today.
It is very hot in here. But yeah, we have agents from Cebu and they mentioned that it's raining really hard over there. But here
Oh,
in Manila, it's really hot. It's scorching hot.
Right, right. It's hot and humid and rainy now in Hong Kong, and we just had our public exam release last week. The weather was horrible on the first day, so a bit miserable at the moment.
Well, it's glad that you are available today to share with our corporate agents more about Cambridge Education Group. We're very much curious about the life of a student in Cambridge, the scholarships, and also the admissions requirements. So yeah, maybe we can start to read. The virtual floor
Yeah,
is yours. Let me know if
thank
you're
you.
able to share your screen. I
Yeah,
believe
let
I've
me
already made
try.
you a host already.
Yeah, you have, you have. Let me try to see if I could share my uh, PowerPoint. Here we go. Can you see my screen now?
Still waiting. Yeah, there you go. We can see it now. But I think we lost you, Ruby. Hello, Ruby. Still there? Okay, I think we lost Ruby's connection. Let me just message her for one moment. Mm. Okay, we lost Ruby. Maybe I can play more of the videos about Cambridge Education Group. We have lots of testimonials from existing international students that we can share. So, Ruby's here already. I hope her connection is fine now. Ruby, can you hear us?
Hello again. Sorry
We
about that.
lost you earlier.
I can hear you now. Is that all right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Your
Let
connection
me.
is better now.
Okay, okay, that's great. Let me see if I could share my screen. Hope it's working now.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much again, Yenny, for the wonderful introduction and showing all the videos to our partners here. And thank you very much to Yes Education for having us today. Like Yenny said, I'm the Deputy Director for East Asia, based in Hong Kong, but I do look after applications in most parts of Southeast Asia, of course, including the Philippines. I mainly look after Southeast Asia apart from Vietnam. We've got another team looking after Vietnam. But any students from different nationalities or different qualification, different education system, as long as it goes through Yes Education from the Philippines office, it's fine. It will be counted to us basically our region. So I'll be the one looking after these applications. So if you've got any questions, please do let Yes Education know. Then we could, answer any of your inquiries in the future. We look really forward to working with every single one of you. This is basically how our on-campus operation looks like at the moment. As you can see on the map, we have got most of our university partners in the UK, but we also got 3 centers in Europe. So I'll talk through them one by one. We've got a lot of products in our portfolio at the moment, so I'll try my best to squeeze in the most important information within this hour session. But of course, if you've got any specific questions for any centers, I think especially for Europe, because it's a new destination for most of our regions, I would say. Any of these questions, or if you've got any students who are interested in Europe at all, please do let us know, and we'll be happy to meet with them and you guys one by one for any specific queries. So we are as I said, a pathway provider. So no matter if it's in the UK or in Europe, we mainly offer pathway programs. So Paris at the moment is the only destination where we might be able to consider direct application for some of our university partners. So if you've got any inquiries in terms of that, please do let us know. But for the UK in general, it's basically all pathway programs. So on the right of the map, you will see the UK map there. With the university logos, these are the university partners where we offer a one-to-one guaranteed progression. So students will be studying at that specific university, and then they take the internal exams. Once they pass, or if it's a degree which required interview, they will then need to pass the interview and the internal test, and it's a guaranteed progression on their chosen degree. They won't need to go through UCAS again. They won't need to then retake their IELTS, because everything will be internal assessment based. And then for the two other centres within the UK, one down south in London, and then the other one is on campus UK North. These two centres are our one-to-many pathway centre. Basically means if a student comes to study in London or in our UK North Centre, they will be supported on their UCAS application. Or if they want to apply to any other universities in the UK which accept foundation, is possible. We do offer still guaranteed progression, guaranteed offer with our university partners, which you could see at the bottom of this slide. So we work with certain universities, not only in London, but also in other parts of the UK. These are the universities where we offer a guaranteed progression. So you'll be able to see the marks that they required for progression from on-campus London students. They'll all be able to found on our website. And pretty much every degrees that the universities are currently offering, apart from certain things like maybe medicine for some universities, but you will be able to see everything on the website. And I'll try my best to talk through these later on in my presentation. For on-campus UK North, you can see 4 partners here. But even though if you've got students who might want to progress on to any universities which are outside of these partners, it's still possible. They will still be able to apply through UCAS or directly to that university if they accept non-UCAS applications. There will be a higher education team within the centre who will be able to support their application. But these university partners where you can see for UK North, mainly apart from University of Lancashire, which used to be called UCLan, University of Central Lancashire. So now they've removed the word central. Still the same university, still guaranteed progression. The main difference I would say between on-campus London and on-campus UK North is that on-campus London is a truly one-to-many centre. So we've got students who wanted to progress basically everywhere, even including King's. We've got students progress on to Durham as well, of course, to University of Bath and on any of these universities. But then for on-campus UK North, I would say it's a combination of the one-to-one guarantee progression together with the one-to-many option we offer at on-campus London. So if you've got students who come to study with us at University of Lancashire and they just want to progress on to University of Lancashire, it's fine. They won't have to apply to UCAS. It's all still one-to-one guarantee progression. But then if you've got students who come over, but they're not quite sure, they still get the kind of safety ground. If they meet the minimum progression requirement, they'll be able to secure the place at University of Lancashire. But then they still get the opportunity to explore and apply to other universities with the support from our higher education team at the centre. So that's pretty much about the UK in general as an overview. For the EU centres, I'll talk through them later on in in the final part of my presentation. But then basically we have got these 3 centres. Ireland is a centre where we work with all these, we've got all these university partners here, which we offer guaranteed progression. If you've got students who is looking to progress onto other university in Ireland, I would say there is a chance, but the chance is quite slim. So I would suggest if you have got a student who wanted to come to Ireland to study a foundation program, they better look into all these university partners we have, because it's quite comprehensive. We offer pretty much everything from maybe music. We work with RIAM, the basically oldest and most prestigious music institution in Ireland, and very well known in the world as well. So we offer things from humanities, music, life sciences like physiotherapy, occupational therapy, pharmacy, even nursing within Ireland, and also to engineering and even business, of course. All these university partners are available within our portfolio as a guaranteed progression. Pretty much everything, like I said. So Ireland, I would say, is potentially the most flexible center in terms of subject choice. And then for Amsterdam and Paris, they're actually both taught in English. So they will be taught in English throughout the whole journey. So starting from the foundation year till the end of the bachelor program, or if they're doing pre-masters to master's program, everything taught in English. But then there's a limitation in terms of subject choice for Amsterdam and Paris. Amsterdam, it's a very much business-focused program. But in the past, we did have students who progress on to things like humanities. One of the most popular and most competitive program at University of Amsterdam. This is our major university partner, together with Wittenberg University of Applied Sciences. So one of the top degree which University of Amsterdam offer is communication science. It's number one in the world. So it's very competitive. It's not business related, but then in general, I would say in the Netherlands, if you're looking for a very top university within the country, they most likely would be looking into your maths and your English. So within our program, they'll be getting the credits, which is enough for them to transfer to either year one or year two at different types of program. For Paris, this is the only center in Europe, among all these three centers at the moment, where we offer an international year one program. In Paris, again, is very straightforward, very clear in terms of the pathway that they can choose from. We offer art and design, business. This year, we offer computer science and hospitality as well. So totally 4 different pathways. International year one would be available for fashion management, for hospitality and tourism, for computer science, and also business. So these 4 degrees would be available for international year one, but of course also for foundation students as well. Right, so to start with, I will talk about University of Aston University in the UK. Aston University is kind of like a mid-rank university. It's one of our guaranteed progression partners. It's got a wonderful location. It's located in Birmingham, the second largest city in the UK. So very good location, especially for international students. It's very easy to get around. UK in general, it's not a big country, so it's very easy to get around to different among different cities. But Aston is located in a very, very good location, and also as a very happening city. So our international students tend to choose, bigger cities like this, apart from London. So in terms of ranking, it's actually a mid-rank, but also like kind of above average university. It's also offer great opportunities for students who is considered to be more practical in terms of the way they learn. So we offer a lot of very practical programs, from mechanical engineering, computer science, cybersecurity, even from life sciences stream, we offer progression onto optometry. All these are guaranteed progression. I think within Aston at the moment, probably optometry and pharmacy are the 2 degrees, the only 2 degrees where we would require an interview for progression. So we won't interview students at this stage before they join foundation, but we'll prepare them for the interview, for the progression interview they need to pass in order to progress onto year one. Also here we're showing you some stats from our past students in the year of 2024-25. we've got excellent progression results, especially with our humanities pathway, one of the most difficult pathway actually. There are a lot of writing involved. So we have got 100% of pass rate, and they all actually progress on to Aston University. I think in Asia in general, we've got a very, very good progression rate. Here we only talk about maybe certain pathway, but then I think in general, for Aston University, we've got almost 100% progression across our, especially East Asia regions, I would say. So I'll talk about the practicality within Aston University. It's actually one of the pioneer university which have implemented internships within the degree studies. So students starting from students who come study with us or with Aston University, starting from September last year, they're actually very lucky because both the undergraduate foundation degrees and the master's degrees are now offering an internship for students. Normally, it's not compulsory for international students, but students are encouraged and they are absolutely free to, at an internship year, a placement year to the degree. So if they're doing a standard degree, it will be 3 years, obviously. But if they wanted to add a year of internship, it will be 4 years in total. So they don't have to necessarily make a decision now. Of course, we do offer a choice of degree with internship when they apply to our foundation year or the international year 1 program at this moment. But we've got students who might be thinking to add an internship year when they're doing the foundation program with us or when they're studying with on campus. It's also fine as long as they get that confirmed before they progress on to the university. That will be written on their offer letter, and they will be using that to apply for the visa. So basically no issues. But if they are thinking to add another year of internship after they've already progressed on to university, say like if they're doing year 1, I did have students who had that before, who did that before. It's also fine, but I would say really to make your decision as soon as you can, and then let the university or let the center know, so they will then be able to guide you through the process. But Aston University has definitely got a great linkage with almost pretty much every sort of fields, even if they're doing, life sciences related stuff, especially with engineering. This is one of the strongest faculty, I would say. I've been seeing them, participate in competition, even from the foundation level. These students who study engineering are, I would say, is absolutely one of our top groups of students in terms of their academic performance, but also with a basically day-to-day practical works with the lab reports and everything. So we've got excellent, very talented students in all these subjects. It's also a very good opportunities for students who are actually looking to study in Birmingham. Aston University is offering a very generous scholarship. So they offer up to £9,000 scholarship. That would be split into £4,500 offered for the on-campus studies. And then the other half of that scholarship will be offered for the first year of university study. So on their offer letter, they would basically be able to see a 4,500 for their on-campus study. This is only available for undergraduate studies at the moment. So for example, if you've got students who come for a foundation program, they will be able to get up to £4,500 for the foundation study. And then if they successfully progress on to year 1, they would then be able to get another 4,500 for their first year of study. Even also apply to our international year 1 students. So if they come for international year 1, on the second year, they should be able to get the 4,500 as well. Please do let us know if you've got any students applying to this program. We should be able to ask our admissions team to add that on the offer letter, or at least in the offer email. So you have got basically a black and white record there. There's no basically any any kind of special requirements for students to get that 4,500 for progression. As long as they pass the program and progress on to year one, this would be guaranteed for their first year with Aston University. I'll talk about in general what our scholarship offer is like for on-campus programs. So this is why we're putting up to £9,000. There might be students who might not need that much of a financial support for their on-campus study at this moment. We tend to want to keep that amount of scholarship for on-campus students to students who confirm first, at earlier stage, and also for students who might be struggling a bit in terms financially at this moment. So we want to actually keep the larger amount of scholarships to these group of students. So again, all our scholarships for on-campus study stage, it's on a first come first served basis. So please do let us know and check with us how much we could offer for individual students actually. But then overall speaking, for Aston, it's a total of up to £9,000. Please also note that this scholarship is only available for self-funded students. So for sponsored students, like students who are sponsored by the government, unfortunately, it's not possible for the at least for the progression scholarship. We should still be able to offer kind of like early bird discount for the on-campus studies. So please do contact Yes Education for any further information. And then for our international year one at Aston University, it's a bit different from how we run our foundation program or how we run our international year one program at other centers. So I think from our understandings, normally a pathway program would be taught in terms of kind of pathway. You've got business foundation, you've got engineering foundation, art and design foundation, kind of something put in a general category. But then for international year one at Aston, I think there are more goods and bads in this way of kind of teaching the international year one. It's very specific. So if you've got students who wanted to do accounting and finance, they'll be studying different modules, not completely different, but there will be very specific modules applied to accounting and finance, where our students doing business and management might not be doing. They obviously will be doing more maths with accounting and finance, and with business and management, probably more writing. So again, this is very specific in terms of doing general modules. They'll already be studying modules which year one students would already be doing at university. So it's pretty much kind of like the same, or kind of 80% of the content for year one students. So again, the good side of that, I think, is that they won't have to do something not quite relevant to their chosen degree. But then, of course, if they wanted to switch from accounting and finance to business and management after they have started the international year one program, it's still possible, but there might be modules that they have to study from like the beginning. So I would suggest students to really make their firm choice before submitting their application, or at least when they already at the international year one program. Normally, I would suggest students to really make their final decision. Even if they're doing the foundation program, they might still want to switch to a different degree within the same pathway. Really, I do encourage them to make the final decision around Christmas time, or definitely before January. Right. Apart from business, we also offer a very unique international year one program on campus Aston. We offer international year one in law. There won't be, again, any kind of public exams or aptitude tests. They would only need to pass the internal modules together with English, as you can see from this table. Or our international year one would require a pass mark of 40% in the academic modules. Normally, they will be doing 6 to 8 modules. There will be English as well if they haven't already met the English requirement for progression, which is 6.5 in IELTS. And then some requirements in individual elements as well. depending on the degrees they're progressing onto. But again, like I said, for all of these guaranteed progression routes, they won't have to retake an IELTS. It will all be internal assessment based. For all our programs, apart from the Medicine Foundation program, there will be one chance of retake. So medicine students, they will only be able to take the exam once. For any other pathways or any other programs, there will be one-time retake. And then also, there will be an internal English assessment where they will need to get 65% for English, which is equivalent then to IELTS 6.5. Either way would do. If you've got students, say, who they want to do IELTS, they want to take IELTS, and they've already got a 6.5 in IELTS, then it can be accepted as well. If they don't want to do an IELTS, then we can provide the internal English test anyway. They would be studying English with us if they haven't met the English progression requirement yet. Apart from law, we also offer 2 engineering programs at Aston for International Year 1, computer science and also cybersecurity, which I would say, again, computer science, of course, there would be other universities offering International Year 1, but cybersecurity is one of the very niche programs, I would say. Also, for International Year 1, our English requirement is 5.5 in IELTS, 5.5 in every single element, because these students would be coming under integrated class. So their visa will be actually covering the whole 3 years. So they won't then necessarily have to come back home for the visas for the following years. It will be a visa covering the 3 years of study. If they don't meet the 5.5 requirement, then they can do the extended program with the pre-sessional English if they have 5.0. But then please do bear in mind, if they are coming for the pre-sessional English, the English test must be a UKVI IELTS, because for any of our programs which are under integrated class, like if they're doing the standard International Year 1 program, we can take non-UKVI IELTS or some other English test depending on the university. But then I would say in most cases, maybe the safest option would be taking the UKVI IELTS, because that will be recognized for any of our programs, basically. Second university partner is University of Hull. This is at the moment, it's kind of like a surprise for this year, but then it's actually one of the most popular center for my regions at the moment, mainly because there might be some students who do not quite meet the requirement for some higher ranked university at this moment. But even for last year, we had students like this case who came to study a foundation with us at University of Hull. They get the good enough grades from the foundation study, then they're able to progress onto a higher ranked university. That students actually progress onto Aston University. So higher ranked university and still within our portfolio. So basically the transfer process would comparatively easier. But if they wanted to apply to other universities, that's also possible. Of course, they will still be going through like your agency to submit their UCAS application or individual university application, because within our one-to-one guaranteed progression center, we'll be offering a one-to-one progression support, so that the teachers within the center might not be able to help them or assist them with the UCAS application, because they'll be focusing on that chosen university's progression. But it won't stop them applying to other universities, but they will then need your help for other universities' progression. So again, showing you some stats. University of Hull, I would say it's a very family-like atmosphere, from their foundation students, from their foundation studies, like on-campus studies, till the end of their university studies. So even within the university, it's still a very, very family-like, a very, very close environment within the university. Among the students and teachers, I would say it's definitely one of the more traditional university So I think the support there is great. That's the reason why I'm confident enough to send students who might not be quite there at this moment to come study with us at University of Hull. We've got wonderful results and also progression result as well within University of Hull. Also in terms of nationality mix, we've got a lot of different nationalities within the center. It's a small center, but we might have got probably more nationalities compared to some of our other more popular centers, because it's not just to concentrate on any single one of nationality. So I think again is a great thing for our students. It's great experience for them. The student satisfaction rate is always very high at this center. With the teaching, like I said, I think it's a very supportive university itself. The teaching quality has been awarded as a gold. It's also because of its location. It's located up north. I think it's a center where it's based at the location, which is very good for students who wanted to focus more on their studies, but within a kind of proper university environment. It's got great facilities. Especially when they're doing maybe law or engineering, they've got basically big enough and supportive enough facilities there to support especially international students. We're giving you a kind of like a reference here, comparing the price students might be spending in Hull compared to what they will be spending in London. Of course, there will be a big gap, but even I think if you're comparing to cities like Birmingham or kind of bigger city in the central area of the country, it will be a big difference as well. Hull, as I said, it's actually a city which has got it's got I would say kind of good enough level of entertainment, but then students can actually be very focused on the studies, especially during the first year as well. So I think given this amount of money that they would need to spend on a degree or on their basically the things that they would be doing within the first year or even for the following 3 years, is a very, very good value for money. Of course, comparing on the daily expenses, even for traveling, within the study, they won't really have to travel much. Even if students normally they might want to get a taxi from the train station to the center. It's just, I think if I remember correctly, it's about maybe within 10 minutes drive. It's very close. It's also not a complicated city. I remember we saw Asian food there, so not too difficult to adapt to the kind of life there. And it's a very simple mix. So we've got local residents and then you've got students there. So yeah, this is basically why the reason why I would suggest this center for our international students, especially when they need more support at this stage. We do also offer an international year one at University of Hull. It's kind of like how we operate for our foundation program. So 2 big pathways, business and engineering. So at the bottom of the slide, you'll be able to see the progression degrees we offer for our international year one at Hull. Obviously, for business, you're already seeing kind of like a much longer list compared to Aston. So if you've got students who is looking to progress onto very specific business degrees, like business management with human resources management and also accounting or economics, marketing is all available at University of Hull. Again, it's all guaranteed progression. Another degree which worth a note or worth a highlight would be logistics and supply chain. It's actually one of the top degrees within the business faculty, and they've got a lot of wonderful alumni who's working into very prestigious and well-known international organizations now. We'll be able to share with you the alumni stories later, but then these are all also available on the website as well. So again, this is quite a popular degree which our students might choose. But then also, if you've got students who is not quite sure what they wanted to do within all these business degrees now, again, like I said, they will be able to switch to another degree or make the final decision while they're studying with us. For engineering, again, similarly, compared to Aston, it offers a wider range of choice for students, even including biomedical engineering, triple E is they are all available and guaranteed for our international year one students. Progression requirement, similar. We ask for 40% in the academic modules, but then the IELTS requirement or the English requirement actually would be slightly lower than Aston University. So internal assessment wise, they would be required a 60% in the internal English tests. The third one is London South Bank University. I would say this is a more affordable option if you have a students who wanted to study in London. Obviously, a lot of other universities in London would be, of course, more expensive than the other cities because it's the capital city. But then London South Bank, if we're looking into especially, the more professional degrees, is actually a very good value for money if a student wants to stay in London. So of course, in London, there would be other courses as well, other courses that they would need to, involve or kind of take into account if they wanted, if they're traveling or where they're staying. But then, given having said that, London South Bank's actually offering some affordable accommodation option as well within London, because it's kind of not like in the central London area. So there's option. It's also popular among students within, I would say, maybe Middle East countries, actually within Europe as well, and also within Southeast Asia in general. The average tuition fee would be around just under £18,000, I would say. There's a scholarship up to £7,000 per year, but of course there will be conditions apply. This is what we're charging for our undergraduate foundation program at on-campus LSVU. We offer mainly two kind of pathways. So for engineering and business, engineering will be considered as a lab-based program where it will be charged slightly higher for almost any centers. If we're looking for students who are coming to study for 2 semesters standard program, they would be paying £17,460 for 2 semester program. If they're doing engineering, it will be about less than or almost like £1,000 more expensive. And 3 semesters are only for students who need free session in English. So any of our programs, now that you're applying 2 semesters, are the standard program. 3 semesters programs are only for students who need extra English support, who doesn't quite meet the English requirement for the 2 semesters program at this moment. Then they'll need to apply for the 3 semesters. If you're not sure, don't worry, you can apply for the 2 semesters at this moment. Then we'll do the assessment and advice on whether they need an extra term for English. I normally get asked about, the kind of like comparing between Loughborough University and Southampton University of Southampton. So I tend to talk about these 2 universities together and then look into the differences and basically why should I choose the one of them instead of the other one. The main reason being they are actually very similar ranked, and they are, especially in terms of subject ranking. So Loughborough University, I would say, if I have to compare it with University of Southampton, the first thing that I would probably notice is that is about the nationality mix or the international students percentage. So at the moment, Loughborough University, I think, is still very kind of home student focused. We've got about talking about the university itself, it's probably around 20% of international students. University of Southampton, it's a very well-known brand. It's a Russell Group university, and in 2026, it's top 100 QS university. Within the UK is normally around top 15, top 20. But then Loughborough University, normally it's actually within the national ranking. It's normally slightly better than Southampton. So we're talking about kind of like the global ranking or the global kind of image and reputation. Southampton might be perceived as higher, but then Loughborough University is normally kind of preferred by local university or home student. Of course, when we talk about Loughborough University, we cannot not talk about sports because the sports related subjects is actually ranked number 1 in the world. Also, as you can see on the statistics here, the reason why I would really highlight on the stats or the progression results we're achieving at Loughborough University and Southampton is because these two universities are basically the highest ranked university partners we have in the UK now. But then there, of course, obviously, if they are the higher ranked university partners, their progression requirement would be higher as well. So if you consider that, that will be more difficult compared to the other centers. But still, our progression rate normally would either be the same or even better compared to some of the other university partners. For Loughborough University, for the UFP undergraduate foundation program, it's very simple as well, very simple setup at the moment. Loughborough and Southampton, we just offer foundation and pre-masters. But also with the pathway available, these are the two centers where we offer basically pretty much the kind of the most diverse pathway for our foundation for foundation entry. We offer art and design, business, engineering, and also life sciences. We have computing here, of course, humanities as well. We've taken out computing here. It's supposed to be an engineering pathway, but then at this center, we do offer a very specific program like programming for computing students, for students who wanted to progress on to say like computer science and things like that. They'll be doing a specific module, which is different from our normal engineering students. So basically, they could choose whatever they wanted to study. It's all available from our for on-campus students. Like I said, this is also a very kind of stable university, I would say. Within the past 10 years, it's always been either the top 10, I think it would normally be at least top 12 universities in the UK. And it's been very stable. Normally, you see university showing ups and downs, especially within the QS World Ranking and perhaps Times as well. But then Loughborough has always been very stable. In terms of the hardware within the university, I personally like it. I personally like it a lot as well. This is a university which I got really impressed when I was there. Actually, the first time I was there, I think it was about 2 years ago. This is the biggest university campus within the UK. As you can see on the map, these are all kind of universities area. You have got on campus kind of in the middle of the map. So we're in a very good location. We're very lucky. We've got our own building teaching on-campus students here for any of these those pathways you saw just now. The student accommodation is not too far away from the center either. We've got students who are lucky enough to get their accommodation, which is just maybe 5-10 minutes walk from the center. So there's no way they could, no excuse for them to be late for classes. But to be honest, I think most of our students studying at Loughborough, their tendency is actually very good as well. I think because of the GDPR, our center cannot send the kind of warnings and notifications to agencies now, unfortunately. But if you ever want to check out what your students is like, how they're performing at the status, please do let us know, and we will try to check with the center verbally, and we should be able to kind of report back. Right, and then all these sports facilities are also available for students, probably starting from the foundation entry already. No matter if they're doing sports as an academic purpose or if they're doing it just for leisure, all the swimming pools, gyms are actually available, accessible by our students on campus as well. Some of them, of course, they will need to pay, but then they are at least accessible to our students, including all the clubs and societies. Art and design, I would say, is one of the faculty which's been kind of underestimated within Loughborough. Of course, we're talking about the overall ranking, we're talking about sports all the time, but then art and design is actually, again, a very top ranked subject within Loughborough as well. In general, art and design is ranked, number 4 in the UK, but specifically with fashion and textile, is ranked number 1 in the UK. The other one I didn't put here is architecture. Architecture is also ranked number 1 in the UK, but it's actually put under the engineering pathway, the engineering faculty by the university. That's the reason why it's not here. But then for students to do wanting to progress onto architecture, they will be doing the Art and Design Foundation with us. But then within the Art and Design program, within the foundation program, they will be doing pure maths for art and design instead of contextual studies. So the main differences between our art and design program compared to the other programs is that it will pretty much like a coursework-based program because they will be working on the portfolio most of the time, except for students who need pure maths. Otherwise, they'll be studying contextual studies, which is kind of more about writing and how to judge different artworks and things like that. And then for our other pathways, it will mainly be exam-based, almost 90% exam-based. Right, and then we offer a guaranteed progression to health and life sciences programs as well. Of course, to all the sports program, all these programs at Loughborough at the moment won't require an interview for progression. So as long as they pass the internal exams, they will get a guaranteed progression. And we don't have any kind of caps for any programs with Loughborough at the moment. So there won't be a case where they don't have enough places to progress. But once they meet the progression requirement, it's a guaranteed. Like I said, in general, we ask for 40% as a pass mark. But then at Loughborough and Southampton, because of the ranking, the progression requirement would be slightly higher at 60% in academic modules. English requirement will still be around 65% in most cases. So they will need either 65% in an internal test or 6.5 in IELTS. Again, Loughborough University, I would say, is one of our university partners which are offering the most generous scholarship campaign. It's not even for the first year, but it's for the following 3 years. Even if they're doing a 4-year program, including placement year, it will still be if they are doing the placement year, it wouldn't be included for the placement year. So the total progression scholarship awarded would be 3 years in total. But then what's the difference between this scholarship compared to the other centers? For Southampton and Loughborough, progression scholarships are always merit-based. So they need to meet the progression of 85% overall with a 70% minimum for individual subjects. Then they will be automatically offered a £3,000 scholarship per year, up to 3 years for the whole bachelor studies. For pre-masters, it's up to £6,000 each year of study. Normally, it will be 1 year for masters, but if they're doing 2 years of masters, that will also be applied to both years. Again, it's 85% overall and 70% for individual elements. The QR code here it's available for you to see all the scholarships that university is offering at the moment. So any scholarship Loughborough is offering to students applying to the university is all open to on-campus students as well. So apart from this International Excellence Scholarship, which is merit-based, the other scholarships are also available to our students for them to apply, and they will be guided through the process when they are staying with us on campus. Loughborough is also a university where it is all the accommodations would be based at the university campus, mainly because of its office size. It's big enough, so basically they've got enough accommodation for our students doing the foundation program, pre-master's program, or even for students who are studying their university degrees at the university. So The difference is that with our other centers, normally we'll be offering private accommodation. So once they've paid the deposit, they will then be able to start booking their accommodation. It's all done by our accommodation team in the UK. But then with Loughborough University, it's handled by the university themselves. So students would need to pay attention, and then they need to know, they need to check their emails pretty much every day. So the university will be sending them a different ID login details for booking their accommodation with the university. The good thing is that they've got enough rooms basically for students even applying at the foundation stage. If it hasn't changed, it's guaranteed accommodation for even year 1 and year 2 students. So I think it's very rarely to see universities doing that, because university tend to be a bit of a shortage with some other universities, but Loughborough University's accommodation would be able to offer enough rooms and also enough options for students. Okay, for Southampton, we did talk about the overall ranking, but also I think more importantly is about the guaranteed option we offer here. As a Russell Group University, I think it's actually very kind of manageable for international students, especially with our students from Asia. Again, our passing rate is very, very good, especially with Southeast Asia students, I would say. Engineering being one of the most competitive programs, normally within a clearing period, you can see university dropping down their entry requirements. Southampton does the same, but then I think normally not for their engineering degrees. So that is actually a very good reason, a very good preparation stage for international students if they are really determined in entering, a good university for engineering program, especially for these engineering program, which I've highlighted here. They're all top 5 within the UK. So when we talk about Southampton, it's not only about the global overall ranking, it's also about very, very good subject ranking as well. We've brought into 2 health and life sciences degrees this year for guaranteed progression, including nursing and occupational therapy. The reason why I've highlighted here, of course, the first thing is about the ranking and also midwifery, actually. So for all these 3, normally we don't get a lot of application for midwifery, but then for all these 3 degrees now, we have brought the interview process before the foundation entry. So in the past, they would do that interview during the foundation program for progression. But then now we interview students first. Actually, it's the university who will be interviewing the students, but they will actually be having a writing task at this stage. After they submit the writing task to us, we'll do the assessment, and then we'll pass that on to the university, and they will invite the students to come for an interview, mainly asking about what they have written on the written task. So please ask your student not to worry about that. Our students who are taking occupational therapy as an example, this is probably one of the hardest. Last year, we got 3 students applying to occupational therapy. All of them passed, and they're going to progress in this September. So it's 100% passing rate in terms of interview and exam elements as well. So there's probably very, very, very small chance that they would not be able to pass the interview, but we'll be able to give them kind of the questions that they will need to prepare for the interview. So please ask them not to worry about that. So there won't be a case where it is kind of more secured, and they won't need to worry, oh, if I pass everything but not the interview, I won't be able to progress. Now they're more sure that they will be able to progress as long as they meet the academic elements requirement. For the master's level, we offer a pre-master's entry, pre-master's program at Southampton. But then there are 2 programs actually we're offering: pre-master's program and master's access program. So for the master's access program, basically for the pre-master's program at Southampton, we normally would ask for at least a 2-2 in their university study. But then now we are able to consider students with a 3rd honor or equivalent for business and for art and design. Of course, there might be some cognate requirements. They might need to have relevant background for certain degrees, but at least we're able to be more flexible in terms of the academic requirement for business and art and design. So if you've got students who are interested in these two areas, it's not a full stop if they don't get a required grade for master's entry at this moment. We would be able to offer them access for the master's, pre-master's entry, basically. All right, and then, sorry, please bear with me. All right. So we talk about the art and design pathway program, but then we don't actually require portfolio for foundation entry. So they won't need to provide a portfolio to us for entering the foundation program, but we will actually be preparing them for the portfolio while they're studying with us. Sorry, guys, please bear with me for a moment. I need to just put my battery on.
Hello, Ruby. Can you still hear us? I think Ruby's connection is lost again. But yeah, she's gonna put her battery on and then we'll wait for her. Maybe if like after a minute we can play videos while waiting for her. But definitely Ruby will rejoin this session. So maybe we can wait like 2 to 3 minutes for her. Okay. While waiting for Ruby, let's play some testimonies from existing international students to convince you guys, our agents, more on why to choose Cambridge Education Group and why its pathway program is the best fit for our Filipino students. So let me just share some videos while waiting for Ruby.
I knew from the start that I'm going to go into a diverse culture to be around people that grew up in the same environment as me and know what my culture is like and what I came from. That's why I studied in 2021 at On Campus Aston, and right now I'm doing a business and management degree at Aston University. On Campus Aston helps you with providing you with great tutors, lecturers, and support from all the staff. They help you book mock exams before the real exams just so you could know what to expect What I love about Birmingham is a diverse culture and there's so many different people that come from different backgrounds. Right now I enjoy studying and meeting new people at Aston University, and I'm enjoying meeting the careers and placements team because they're helping me find a job placement that I can go into for my third year.
My name's Giovanni. I just turned 19. I actually want to be an actor. I get to express my feelings and my ideas. Now I'm here, I can do my own script, I can write my own script, I can tell my own story. There's like a very strong bond between us at the moment. It's actually like a small society inside a class. And everyone's different. You can learn from literally everyone. You get a different perspective, and when you stand on those different perspectives to look at things, you'll get a completely different point of view. And that is very important if you do want to proceed into further studies.
Hi, Ruby, can you hear us?
I'm so sorry about the technical issue again. I will
Okay.
try to go back to my presentation now.
We just played some of the videos
Thank
from
you.
the testimonies of the international students. That's okay.
Thank you so much.
You
Thank
can
you.
share
Thank you.
this screen again.
All right, then. So I'll restart from Southampton. So as I said, we don't ask for a portfolio for foundation entry, but actually we have always got 100% acceptance for a portfolio within our pathway entry. So students get their get their portfolio assessed by the university during the foundation program. Like our other pathways, they get one time to retake the exams, but then for our art and design students, because it's mainly based on the portfolio, so they will be able to get feedbacks on the portfolio, and then they will be able to amend based on what the university or what the center recommends them to do. So we do have a very good acceptance rate with the university, no matter if it's with the University of Southampton or Loughborough University. So here is the kind of progression information from some of our regions within East Asia. We've got some interest, I would say increasing interest within Southeast Asia. Number is still not as big as some other Asian countries, but then it's definitely growing. Within kind of like Indonesia, actually even more for from Vietnam. But then it's always 100% progression, and we tend to be able to retain these students as well. For some of our regions where we get more students coming to Southampton, the progression rates are still very good. But then they might be thinking about progressing on to other universities, like maybe universities in London. We did have students even for this year entering onto KCL with, of course, excellent results in our foundation program. So again, like I said, it's still possible, but then they might need to ask the agency to help the university applications. University of Sunderland, I would say, again, is a very good value for money option for especially Southeast Asia students. I do a lot of work with the University of Southampton, with University of Sunderland, especially in the Philippines. We normally travel together and we do recruitment activities there. We do seminars there together as well. For some of the programs, because in the past they were not able to accept Philippine students directly onto year one from the from high school graduation. But now I think they've opened up. I don't know if it's all degrees. Better check with the university directly. But then that's again the reason, one of the reasons why we're traveling together, because students can get guaranteed progression from our foundation program. So with University of Southampton, again, you can see excellent progression result. I think not only for pre-masters, we've got excellent results from foundation students as well. The reason why I would recommend this university, of course, is about the cost that they are spending for not only the first year of foundation or international year one, but also for following years. University of Sunderland is offering a scholarship of around £4,000 to £6,000 per year when they progress onto the university. So that's at least for 3 years or for 2 years for international students, for international year one students, especially for students who are doing professional degrees like pharmacy, nursing. They've got over 100 years of experience running pharmacy at University of Sunderland. But then also in terms of the Guardian ranking, they are actually not bad at all. They are ranked 27th in the UK. So I would say if we are looking into ranking table like the Guardian, which are considering the university or ranking the universities in a lot of different aspects, especially from the student-facing elements, is actually a mid-rank or even above average university, mainly because Sunderland might not be the best research type of university, but it definitely gives students way more support than the traditional universities. And especially when we're talking about practical degrees like pharmacy and nursing, where students would need, the high enough standard facilities and support there. Sunderland is definitely the university that they would want to go. Also, they offer very niche program like cosmetic science, which would give them actually a very good progression after they complete the degree and job prospects. So this is basically how they would be spending in terms of the total cost, especially when we're talking about degrees like pharmacy, nursing. They'll pretty much be able to earn what they have spent in the whole bachelor program. The 3 years cost that they have spent on the bachelor program or 4 years for pharmacy, they would easily be earning that back in the first year of the career. So it's a very good value for money, especially for students who are looking for these type of degree. I think they've got a lot of Filipino students doing nursing as well, for I think maybe either kind of exchange program for them to start in year one, maybe year two, maybe, or for students who might be entering onto the bachelor program in the UK, but there's still Filipino students. But as far as I've heard, they have actually got a quite a good percentage of Filipino students doing nursing. Again, I think also because of the job prospects as well. We do an extended master's here at Sunderland as well. The total length would be 15 months. So it's kind of like the pre-masters, a short pre-masters program plus the plus the actual master's program. So the total amount of time that they're spending would be 15 months. It's mainly around business programs. On campus London and on campus UK North, as I said, these are the one-to-many progression options for students. You can see from here, but also in a most updated stats, we have actually got 100% of our students from the one of the foundation program, international foundation program, who's got accepted onto either Russell Group University or top 100 QS World Ranked universities. So it's very excellent result we have at on campus London. This gives students option, especially when they are looking for kind of like more professional degrees, because we've opened up a new partnership since I think the year before with City St George's. They used to be called St George's University of London, but they've merged with City now. So they are, I think, still the only university, which is based in the hospital in the UK. So again, it gives students very practical experience. They're pretty much into the work environment already when they start year one. So for international students, I think they might have more opportunity to do the placement within St. George's because it's a hospital, but then they might get chances to work in other hospitals as well. But I think kind of the opportunities for working here at the same hospital will probably be prioritized to international students because they might not be able to travel that far compared to home students. And then they offer basically 4, in total 6, but the other 2, I think is clinical pharmacology and biomedical science, which won't require progression interview. It's a guaranteed progression as long as they pass the program. But for physiotherapy, occupational therapy, radiography, and radiotherapy, these are the degrees where they would need to pass the progression interview as well. The good thing is that we don't have a cap, or we have kind of like a soft quota for these degrees. So for students who have met the progression requirement and passed the interview, they won't then have to worry about whether there are enough places for them to progress. Because St. George's is always happy to open more places if we have already hit kind of the limit, which we've originally been given as a quota. But it's a soft quota, so that's why they are able to open up more places for students if they're the right fit, basically. On Campus London, these are basically the 4 programs we're offering. I think the main confusion where it would come up would normally be around undergraduate foundation program and the University of London International Foundation Program. Undergraduate foundation program, same as what you saw just now with Loughborough or other universities. So basically, they choose their pathway from business, humanities, engineering, and so on. For University of London International Foundation Program, normally we'll be asking for students who have completed high school. For our other foundation program, we'll be able to consider grade 11 students. For University of London International Foundation Program, which is actually a program written by LSE, it's the only foundation program which LSE would consider, and some other selective programs as well. Like any law subjects with Queen Mary, they will only be taking students from IFP instead of the UFP. Also, students doing the IFP, they will be doing specific modules. They must be good in maths, because math is a compulsory module. They'll be doing English, of course, and they will also be studying more than 4 subjects because they will be doing the economics, pure maths, international relations, and social psychology, depending on what degree and which university they wanted to progress on to. Say like if it's a more math-focused program, they would be doing pure maths apart from instead of the other programs. If they're doing law, it would make sense for them to do international relations and social psychology. So they won't be necessarily choosing their own subject combination, but we'll guide them through the whole process depending on which university they are progressing on to. You can see the pass mark here as 40%, but I would be able to tell you for almost all our students doing international foundation program, they would not get 40%, but instead they will get much higher marks because they will be targeting the almost highest ranked possible university that they will be able to progress from this program. We've got a lot of students progressing onto King's, Queen Mary, and all these top universities, not only in London, but also outside London, also Manchester, etc. We are the only teaching center in the UK, but we're not the only one in the world. So basically they teach this program globally. But throughout the past year, especially this year, 2026, one of our IFP students actually was ranked #1 in the world in terms of their final results. So we've got excellent results in terms of students' performance. That's the reason why they've progressed on to these highest ranked universities, not only in the UK, but perhaps in the USA, as you can see from here, University of Sydney in Australia as well. For our International Year One in London, it's mainly a business-focused program. So they will be able to progress on to Year Two, and we offer guaranteed progression to all these 4 universities: Birkbeck, Royal Holloway, Westminster, and Brunel. Again, this is business-only progression. If you've got students who wanted to do engineering, they might have to consider other on-campus centres. For on-campus UK North, again, like I said, this is the universities where we'll be able to offer a medicine foundation program for students who are looking into progressing onto MBBS in the UK, but also in our other university partners like Ireland, Royal College of Surgeons in Ireland, St. George's in Grenada, and also University of Nicosia in Cyprus. So they can progress on to kind of like more US focused university like St. George's, but also an EU recognized program in Nicosia or RCSI. Students who might not be quite meeting the requirement for medicine foundation at this moment, they can do the Life Sciences Foundation program, and then they will be able to progress onto a 6-year medicine program, even in vet medicine. So same as medicine foundation, they can progress onto a 5-year BVMS for vet medicine or MBBS for medicine. For life sciences students, they will have to do 6 years program with the university, but it's a package offer. So it's not the end of the world if they don't meet the medicine foundation program requirement at this stage. We'll be able to take them onto a life sciences program, then progress onto a 6 years program with the university. But also here, you can see it's not only medicine. If we've got students who come for a life sciences program, of course, but also we do have students come for the medicine program. It's not necessarily because they don't meet the requirement for progressing onto MBBS. We might have students who come for the medicine program, but then they discover something else that they're interested in. So ended up they might progress onto other degrees under the life sciences faculty. It's all possible. The main differences between the life sciences program and the medicine foundation program is that for medicine foundation program, they will need to do pure maths. For the life sciences foundation program, they'll just be doing chemistry, biology, and also skills for science. There would almost be no maths in it. These are the progression requirements. Normally for a medicine degree, they will need a 70% and 70% in academic modules and a 70% in the English test. So all these universities won't require any extra tests, including UCAT. They won't need to go through UCAS. They'll need to prepare a personal statement for entering the foundation first. And then we'll interview them once for the foundation entry, and then we'll prepare them for the MMI interview for progressing onto MBBS. This is probably one of the most affordable medicine foundation program, perhaps in the UK or even compared to the other destinations at this moment. For the center program, we're charging just under £29,000 before scholarship. These 2 slides, I won't go into details, but I think it's very useful for you guys, especially when you're consulting students and parents, because they will normally ask about the salary, where they can practice after they completed these degrees. In general speaking, Ireland, RCSI in Ireland would be the most expensive one. But then it's EU recognized, Ireland is currently the only English-speaking country within the EU after Brexit. So it's definitely got its advantage. With University of Nicosia in Cyprus, it's because of its cost. It's probably one of the more affordable options if we're talking about medicine. But all these degrees are, after students has completed the degree, they will be able to actually practice in all these different locations. That basically no difference for them to study in the UK or perhaps in the EU or within, all these other university partners. So I'll talk very quickly about our EU partners, which I've already given you an overview. But then for Amsterdam, I think most students choose this pathway mainly because of our partnership with the University of Amsterdam. I would say over 90% of our students will be aiming to progress onto University of Amsterdam because of its ranking. So University of Amsterdam is currently ranked 53 in the QS World Ranking. Again, as I talk about, the media and communication is ranked #1, not only in the country, but it's actually ranked #1 globally. It's a very, very good international mixed environment for our students, no matter if they're doing the foundation or if they're progressing on to the university studies. It's also a triple accredited business school, which means it's one of the top 1% business schools in the world. Another advantage of students studying in the Netherlands is that they will get a 12-month post-study work visa after they complete their studies with the university. This 12-month post-study work visa would be eligible for them to claim even after or within 3 years after they graduate. So if they graduate, after they graduate, they want to think about, coming back to their home country or just explore something within Europe, it's possible. So within 3 years, they will still be able to come back to the Netherlands and claim this post-study work visa. So it's very flexible compared to some other countries. Apart from the University Pathway Program, so basically for the University Pathway Program, they will be getting the ECTS credit. So instead of, just the internal test like we talk about for the UK, this is applicable for students who might be thinking about studying elsewhere in Europe, in the Netherlands, or even going back to the UK. It's possible because they are getting the ECTS credits, which will be recognized by other universities within Europe. We also offer guaranteed progression on to University of Amsterdam from our master's qualifying program, which is actually exactly the same as a pre-master's program. Again, mainly within the business faculty. Ireland, as I said, it offers students probably the most diverse choices within the center. We work with a lot of different universities in Ireland. These are all guaranteed progression. Like I said, it's got the advantage of being in the EU, the only English-speaking country. Visa application process is actually very easy. We'll be able to guide you through. If you've got any question, we've got a visa team here to support. In terms of salary as well, especially for these professional occupations, they would be able to earn, basically, I would say, compared to other EU countries at the moment or other countries within Europe, is considered as one of the highest. A lot of students come to study pharmacy, IT-related subjects. We also offer a new progression now to our newest partner, Pleven University in Bulgaria. So I think this is mainly targeting for students who is looking for kind of more affordable, probably the most affordable medicine option within the world, I would say. It's just under £8,000 per year, but they'll have to do a 6-year program. They can work in the future in Europe, in UK, Canada, or USA. Of course, there might be conversion courses involved, but then it's possible, and it's all taught in English. And then we also offer pre-master's program with a guaranteed progression and guaranteed progression scholarship with NCI in Ireland. So lastly, it's about Paris. So the main thing I just want to bring out is that people might think that it's a difficult progression. It's not at all. We don't have a lot of students from this part of the world at the moment, but this is one of our fastest growing center. We teach French here at the center, but it's not like a credit-bearing program. They will be able to progress as long as they meet the progression requirement in terms of academic and English. So it will still be based on academic and English. And I think the other advantage of studying in France is that, of course, they can save a year. They can come for international year one instead of foundation. When they progress on to university, the university normally would be charging a much lower fee compared to some other European countries. Taking this in hospitality as an example, AIM is charging about just under €12,000 per year for the 3 years bachelor program in hospitality. For business, it will normally be around 8,000 something to, I think, within 13,000, 14,000 pounds, depending on which university they're going to. Catch Business School, being one of our major university partner, again, is a triple accredited business school. It also offers exchange program for students in the international BBA. It's a 4 years program. They'll be able to do 2 years with the university partners across the world, even including universities in the USA, which would be probably the most expensive in the world. They will still be paying the France tuition fee, in that 2 years of exchange. So they will at the end get a certificate or a qualification from both universities, from 2 universities, but still paying the same fee for the 4 years program. So this is to summarize what we offer for International Year 1 program. We do have an International Year 1 flyer we will be able to share with you, and a summary table of how we charge for these programs. This is a sample timetable. We teach normally from 9 a.m. till maybe 5 p.m. This is more like a kind of full schedule in terms of for basically a life sciences student. But there normally would be free slots where we'll be able to put in extra tuition if a student needs extra help in certain subjects. It will always be monitored throughout the 2 semesters or 3 semesters. So we will try our best to avoid having students knowing that they won't be able to meet the requirement till the end of the program or towards maybe the last 2 months. We do offer a scholarship or bursary up to £5,000 or €5,000 for all students. But again, this is on a first come, first served basis. This is still available for September 2026. At the moment, the only center we're not taking September application, which is closed for September, is Amsterdam. All the other programs are still open. I would say normally prepare more, kind of leave more time for visa application for the EU centers, Ireland and Paris. But for the UK, we'll be able to take students up to, I think, honestly, September, because we start our intake in late September, but we have our late arrival normally about a month after the official start date. So students can arrive probably around mid or late October. So this is just to summarize what our entry requirements are like. I think the most important thing is about the age requirement. They must be 17 or at least 16 years old, 11 months when they start with us. Everything would go through the partner portal, so please do let Yes Education know. If you've got a student, contact them. They would then help you submit an application on our partner portal. As long as your students got a passport copy and the latest academic transcript, Yes Education will be able to put in an application for them. Normally at this moment, I would say it would take less than 2 working days to get a conditional offer letter. IELTS can come later. As long as we've got the transcript and the passport copy, we'll be able to issue an offer. The most important message I wanted to bring to you guys today is that we never say no. As you can see within on-campus portfolio, we've got options for students. Either if you've got a student who is at that level, is aiming for higher ranked university entry, we'll be able to offer them foundation, International Year 1, pre-masters. If they're struggling a bit, they need more support at this moment, we would have more flexible centers which would be a right fit for them. We do have excellent progression results. If you need more information, please do come to Yes Education. We can always arrange another one-to-one meeting for you guys. So thank you so much again for your time, and thank you so much for your patience. I'm really sorry again for the technical issues we had. Thank
It's
you.
okay, Ruby. And thank you so much as well for a very comprehensive presentation. And don't worry, guys, for our presentation deck, we will definitely send a copy right after this webinar and the recording of this webinar as well. Just in case you have to go back, there's information that you have to double check, or you will be sharing this to a colleague who wasn't able to, be with us or join us today. Again, Ruby, thank you. And maybe we'd love to hear from everyone. I'm actually now seeing few questions on our Q&A box. So maybe we can start reading through them. So we have the first one. Can students change their degree after completing a pathway?
Yeah, I think in most cases, it's possible if it's within the same pathway. More likely for business, humanities, or even less so for art and design, I would say, because for art and design, they'll have to prepare the portfolio specifically for their chosen degree. But for business, humanities, Some engineering degrees is possible as long as the progression requirement is the same, or as long as they meet the progression requirements, because they will be studying the same programs, same modules anyway for that chosen pathway. For medicine, it's probably possible for them to switch to another degree which doesn't require an interview. Or if they want to progress from the medicine foundation program to physiotherapy, for example, because physiotherapy would be a quoted program and they would be having a different interview for physiotherapy, then they would need to basically let the center know or let the university know that they wanted to switch to another degree. I would say if it doesn't require an interview, as long as they meet the academic elements requirement and the English, it's fine for them to switch. But I wouldn't recommend them to, switch at the very last stage. Normally would talk to students about what they really wanted to do at the university, and ideally they would be able to make up their mind around Christmas or right after they come back from Christmas holiday.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ruby. I hope for that attendee we were able to answer your question. On to the next one. Is the Philippine Senior High School Diploma accepted for direct entry or only through a pathway?
Yeah, I think for most cases at the moment, at least for Europe, they will need a pathway program. For UK, it depends on the universities, I would say. So better to check directly with individual universities. From my understandings, there are only few universities which have now started to accept students directly onto year one from the high school diploma. From our university partners, I think University of Hull, University of Sunderland are probably the two, from my understanding, which will be able to consider students for direct entry.
Thank you so much for that. On to the next one. How do you assess applicants with academic gaps or low GPAs? Would you consider it?
Sure. I would say, especially for this September onwards, of course, I can't tell you 100% for future intakes, but for this intake, we're able to consider borderline cases even for higher ranked university like Southampton and Loughborough. Probably less so for Loughborough, but Southampton, we've been considering students who slightly fall under the entry requirement. Perhaps also if you've got students who don't quite meet the progression, the entry requirement for their existing or the latest academic qualification, maybe grade 12, they don't meet the last year qualification, we could potentially consider the year before, the qualification prior to that. If they meet the requirements for grade 11, we would be able to take them. Even though there might be students who still don't quite meet that requirement, we'll be able to consider them case by case. One of the university partners which I would highly recommend is University of Hull. They are able to consider students who might be, a bit far off from the entry requirement at this moment, because they can provide enough support there at the center. And we're confident that students will be able to meet the progression requirement. So if you've got a students, like I said, who need more support, this is probably the center I would recommend.
How about for students who didn't meet the English requirement? Would you accept one skill retake or, still accept it if it's just 0.5 that is missing?
Yeah, so if it's a 0.5, we normally would be able to consider them for pre-sessional. So it would be 3 semesters instead of 2 semesters. At most centers or most programs, almost all programs, I would say, we would be able to consider one skill retake.
Got it. Thank you. We have another one asking about the tuition fee. Is there any installment plan available?
Yeah, for the university studies is normally more flexible than foundation or pathway studies. For pathway program, if they're coming for 2 semester, it will be broken down into two installments. If they're coming for 3 semesters, it will be broken down to 3 installments. But for university studies, it can be like 6 to 8 installments sometimes, if as I hear. But for foundation, it's pretty much like 2 or 3 installments.
Got it. Next one, if you are to compare the providers, which does have more Filipino students?
I would say at this moment is more for London South Bank and also on campus London as well. And then our other one-to-many center at UK North. At UK North, it will mainly be around life sciences subjects. Yeah, these are probably the most popular centers.
Mm-hmm. And is there like particular subject areas or programs that tend to be the strongest fit or the most popular for Filipino students?
Yeah, I think still around life sciences, mostly looking into progression onto nursing, um, pharmacy a bit, but mainly around nursing, I would say. We had applications for medicine as well, but I think ended up the students chose to stay in home country. But then, yeah, in general, I would say life sciences is the most popular, or business, some of them.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Thank you for that information. On to the next question. How do you help international students adjust to studying in the UK? And maybe I'd like to add something to that question. Like how do you support students in terms of like when they arrive in the UK? What are the support system in place for students when they once they arrive on campus?
Sure, that's actually a very good question, which I didn't get time to cover on. But then, actually, on the timetable, you'll be able to see there's a 1 hour of personal tutorial every week for every single student. So, when our students arrive at the center, the first week is called induction week. So we normally won't do any teaching during the first week. They will be showed around the campus, the city, the surrounding area, and where to get what within the universities and also within the city. And then they'll also be introduced to the personal tutor. This is something we add into, which is more than what a university student would normally get. So the idea is that we hope students will be able to uh, adapt to the university environment at the stage at an earlier stage, 1 year earlier, before they really enter to the university study. But then we teach in much smaller class size, normally around 10 to 15 students per class. And there is this
Mm-hmm.
personal tutor who would act as their first point of contact. So at university, they will need to figure out basically where to get which support from. But on campus, of course, there's a more kind of connected structure. They will be able to reach out everybody pretty straightforwardly and easily and quickly. But then, even within that group, we managed to get a personal tutor for each of them. They don't look after only one student. Each personal tutor might be looking after maybe 30, 20 students. So these students would be able to ask any questions, even if it's about the daily life, accommodation, anything. This teacher will be able to basically find help for them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you. Second to the last question, are internships or placement years available?
Definitely. It's available, I think, to almost all our degrees now, especially with certain universities like Aston University, I think Loughborough and Southampton as well. Normally, they will be able to add an internship year, a placement year there. During the placement year, normally they will still be in kind of they will still be a student in the UK, but then the internship mostly would be a paid internship. And then they will be paying 20% of the tuition fee for that year. So basically, they study for the first 2 years, and then they do the internship for the third year, and then they come back to the university, complete the dissertation for the final year. So the total time of the bachelor study would be 4 years then. I think it would be available for almost all degrees like business, engineering. Most of our students nowadays tend to, add that internship year because from our previous experience or from what they've heard, students do actually get the job opportunities during their placement year. So they might as well have got a job ready for them immediately after they graduate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Got it. On to the last one. What new initiatives or opportunities should Philippine education consultants like us know about for the upcoming intake?
Yeah, so I would say there are actually more and more pathway options available for students. So it's definitely not the end or full stop. If a student don't have a relevant background, no matter if they're coming for a foundation entry, for kind of like the undergraduate entry or postgraduate study. Of course, for pre-masters, there might be, more kind of requirement in terms of the relevant background. But for foundation, definitely, if you've got students who wanted to study, I think it becomes more popular as well for those professional degrees like AI, computer science, even art and designs become more popular. And then also for physiotherapy, radiotherapy, things like that. We, as a foundation provider, at most of our centers for all these degrees, we don't have a prerequisite. So as long as they meet the overall entry requirement, it's actually a very good opportunity for them to come over and build a much stronger background. Because when we look at university direct entry requirement, it might become more flexible nowadays. But then what I think we should be telling or students and parents should be knowing is that whether the students will be able to cope and pass the second and third year and then get the degree. We don't want to see students failing during the bachelor program because that would be the worst thing. We want to get them a much stronger base, get them better prepared before they enter onto their bachelor program. So I think there is definitely a reason, a very good reason for students, for international students to come over to do this kind of preparation program in the university environment, which would actually make them more successful and make the way in the bachelor studies or postgraduate studies much smoother in a way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I got it. I believe we've answered all of our attendees' question, but maybe last question from me. How do you accept students with refusals? And if you do, or if do you have like a refusal rate for Filipino applicants? And are there any red flags in an application that tend to lead to refusals that, our agent should watch out for?
Yeah, I would say at least for the past 2 years or up to three, I think we don't have any visa refusals from our Filipino students, luckily. But then I can't say for sure that we will be able to consider students with a visa refusal background. So, and I also wouldn't say it's 100% no, because I know some university might say 100% no. So I would always
Mm-hmm.
recommend still putting in an application, or at least let us know that you've got students who's interested in the program, and we'll be able to check with our compliance team to see whether we'll be able to consider them. If it's a visa refusal from another country, I would say more likely we'll be able to consider. It also depends on the reason as well, reason of the visa refusal. So yeah, so I wouldn't say it's 100% no. So please do let us know in case if you've got a student with that background.
Mm-hmm. And this is despite of how long the visa refusal has been, despite if it's
Normally 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Got it.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for that, Ruby. And
Thank
again, for
you.
a very comprehensive presentation. Before we wrap up, would you maybe like to leave our agent partners with any final thoughts, tips, or advice as they consider recommending on-campus Southampton or Loughborough to their students?
Sure, thank you. So yeah, like I said, we're still considering students for September intake, and I think this year will be a very good opportunity for international students because we don't normally consider borderline cases, especially for Southampton and Loughborough. I think this year, mainly because of our students' performance last year, they've done excellently, especially with students from East Asia. That's the reason why we are able to be slightly more flexible in terms of entry requirement. And this is also the year where we're offering kind of the maximum scholarships for East Asia students as well. As you could see, it's in most cases up to £5,000 or euro. So especially with our European destinations as well, I would really be very appreciated whenever I come across students and parents who are looking for options in Europe outside the UK, because it's truly an eye-opening opportunities for international students, talking about international insights and subjects that they could study, the ranking, and also more importantly, probably the most important consideration is the value for money. And in the UK, actually, when we're comparing with other destinations, is definitely lower than what they're expecting. Most parents might have a mindset that UK is expensive, but when you're calculating the total cost, it's actually not as expensive. And I truly believe that the quality is still there. And we've got a range of university, as I said, which will be suitable for different types of students.
Thank you so much for that. Again, on
Thank you.
behalf of Yes Education, Ruby, for a wonderful presentation, and of course to our agent partners for joining us this afternoon. If any of your students could be a good fit for these programs, or if questions come up later, the Yes Education team is always just a message away. Message us any inquiries you may have, and then we'll directly relay it to Ruby. We'll send out the presentation deck and recording soon. Thanks again, everyone. See you at our next webinar. Goodbye, Ruby. Goodbye
Thank
for
you so
now.
much. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.